Good morning, Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Happy Friday, amigos, amigas. So running water. A day and a half ago, they were forecasting about an inch and a half of rain. That is all been taken out of the forecast, and we are really dry. Was really banking and waiting on that rain before running full irrigation cycles in the spring, but here we are, we're forced to do so. So running extra water this morning out ahead of golf. So I'm on 12, we got water on 15 as well. You know, we just keep chipping away. A lot of work still getting done. We elected not to mow any zoysia surfaces this week due to the cold temperatures. Each morning this week was down in the low 40s, not far away from frost. It has been very chilly, very windy up until yesterday, really drying out surfaces. We're spending a lot of time watering areas, hand watering, spending a lot of time and a lot of 2-cycle fuel, blowing tees, blowing greens, blowing roughs, blowing fairways. You know, the necessary evil, but the labor hours that I don't want to be spending on. You got Mac up there. Look at him. What's that goofball doing? He's up here. The only benefit is with every disadvantage of it being dry, there's some advantages. So I've made really good headway over here at these where these dredging bags were. That material was really wet and mucky for a long time. It is finally starting to get to a spot where we can start working it a little bit. So been taking scoops of the muck and displacing that so that it can get more air and dry out. But we should, depend on weather, of course. If it's wet again, it'll be a slow process, but should have this thing kind of shaped out in the very near future. So that's exciting. Otherwise, greens are in good shape, good condition, rolling pretty quick, not quite cutting them loose to the full-on bogey speed. Obviously, some apologies from the golf staff on Sunday. Was kind of a perfect storm. With all that wind and the cooler weathers, the greens really firmed up. We rolled that day. They were pretty quick. The golf course setup crew had rolled quite a few balls at some hole locations that were of concern, especially 9. Balls were managing to kind of stay in place earlier in the morning, but as the day went on in the afternoon and it got windier and windier, that surface dried back out a little bit more and made it slick. So apologies for that. A little lesson learned, a little reminder for us. Pay a little more attention and care to hole locations. So otherwise, with the wind, it was making it difficult for us to make our typical applications. We were able to catch up on some of those yesterday. We'll do some more today. Some fertilizer on greens, some extra pre-emergent in areas to prevent crabgrass, which will start germinating. I would assume, next week. We've got really warm temps next week. Should get this zoysia going. Once again, the fairways were fertilized last week, hoping for some rain. Tees were fertilized yesterday. Collars were fertilized last week. So once we get a decent pop of some moisture and get that to release, and once we get some decent temperatures up in the 80s, then we'll also be able to get this zoysia growing again. So definitely looking a little dingy. We've got some Poa annua contamination that we'll have to make an application to get rid of that as well. So honestly, fairways and tees looking, and some collars looking a little public right now, but give us a little time. Let weather and Mother Nature do a little work for us, and we'll have them right back to our quality standards in no time. So really, that's kind of it. Number 1 tee landscape is almost complete. Did a little more, little mulching up there. Need some more plants, but chipping away. A lot of color went out. Jenny planted a lot of flowers, so we getting ready for the summer season with the annuals and some colors. So have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again next week. A reminder, we are still 90 degrees, no restrictions with cart traffic. Right now, I'd prefer seeing carts in the rough as opposed to fairways, so feel free. Please drive in the rough. The rough can handle it right now. The fairways are still hurting a little bit. So appreciate it. Thanks. Bye-bye.